What's up guys, welcome to the artclass.com QA session again. Let's scoot over so I can be in the middle, I guess. In this session there will be more cool question here. Alright, so first one, varnageT wrote, write, I don't know which one should I use, right, I guess. How hard was it to get your first job in the industry? What was it, and do you have any tips for us? So back then it might have been different. I draw a lot and I go through a bunch of light drawing, and it's all about like first to kind of get to know, and I like video games, but I was working at Nextel at the time, so I was doing number crunching basically. But I always drawing, and I always go to sessions, so I meet people like live drawing. I'll meet people who work in video game, so I kind of like ask them, hey, how do I, ask about apply or go about it, and then like, hey, you gotta make a portfolio, whatever. You don't need an art degree. So it's like, oh, you don't need an art degree, because most of the time in this field, it's not about, unless you want to be a professor or teach in the industry, then you need a degree. But you want to work in video game or comic books or anything like that, what they want to see is your in comic books, your page. Because I used to go to Comic-Con in San Diego. That was like 10 years ago, and I think C.B. Sabowski, I talked to the editor, and he was like, yeah, he looked at it, he was like, that's cool. It was about the same time that trying to get to the video game industry. So he gave me the card, and he was like, hey, email me and I will send you 4 to 12 page script, and then you will show me your pencil of whatever that. But at that time I already showed him my portfolio. I had like a stack of 11 by 17 comic books, and at the same time I was I was already working with a company called Utretch, which making Disney game for Disney, like Piglet, Winnie the Pooh, and a bunch of Disney property at the time, Monster Inc. So that was like 10 years ago. So how I get there is like I have to make a portfolio. So it took me about a couple of years to put together the whole portfolio, and I have to do a research of like whatever the people back then are doing, look at some other people portfolio online, and ask people like, hey, you go to session a lot, and your drawing is not bad, and they're like, oh, you got, you are comparable, you are, and you keep consistently show them that you're willing to learn and to do whatever. Some people will kind of take you seriously. So you're not just like, you have to go every week, and also go to a convention. That's what I heard, where people get the jobs, and always have your card ready, or your booklet that have your sketch or something you sell in a convention, and give it to the right people and try to make connection that way. And also nowadays it's going to be harder because there are more people and more skill. Back in the day I just draw good, probably good enough, right, to get into the comics, but I didn't. Eventually I got a job at ArenaNet instead of sending my pencil to DC. So that was my second job at ArenaNet, and then I started learning digital painting there. So we're making Guild War 1, Guild War 2, and then later on in the day I got contacted by Blizzard, but I didn't go work with them, but I would have, but it's kind of, it's hot down there. I like it cold in Seattle. And then I worked for Square Enix and stuff, but that's after your first step. Your first step is probably going to be the hardest, but once you get in there, you get to know a lot of people, and try to do your best. Look at some of the people portfolio online, compare, and really be critical of yourself. Because a lot of time I would see kids wrote on comment, hey, I'm pretty good at drawing this and that. It's a lot of people will be good in locally, they'll say you're good, but in the world stage you are just the average, right? So you have to think in terms like, hey, I gotta be above average in world stage, because this is like the social media, internet era, globalization. You can't just be good in school anymore. You have to be good in world stage. So you gotta compare yourself to that. So whatever the company you want to apply, you have to look at their the list of name of the people who are making that video game. Then do some research, like okay, this guy doing generalist or whatever, and then just look at their portfolio and try to make your portfolio to whatever the job you're looking for. And look at a concept artist who work on some other company and look at their portfolio if you want to be a concept artist, and then look at their portfolio and see what they have in their portfolio. But most of the time their portfolio is going to be about a few years old, because most of the people who work in games, they can't show the current skill or the current project they're working on. So you're going to have to do better than what they are. If your portfolio is better than those guys, chances are you will get hired. So that's just my that's just the harsh truth. And sometimes if you go to a good school with a good connection like Art Center and Pratt or something, then you probably will have a better chance when you graduate, so you have like portfolio view. But if you go to average school, chances are it's going to be pretty average. But try to go to convention, do some research. But at this day and age, if you're on internet, if you are consistently working hard, you're consistently producing good work, people will notice. If people don't notice you, then you're not good enough yet. So just work hard, try to do your best, and keep consistently producing good stuff. Consistent is key. Prolific is even better. So just do that, and just worry about how good your works are. Don't really worry about like how to get in there, because eventually, if you're consistently producing the stuff, it's just a matter of time. So I hope I answered your question. That was a pretty long one, I think, but I provide you a lot of room or area to go to, whatever it is. So another one here, Miya Ashina, right? Wait. Oh, she has asked the same question. It's so damn hard to find a job without networking experience and proper English. Yeah, I just answered all that question. So it's basically the same question. Alright, so Pamela Cristina writes, Q&A is amazingly good. Thank you very much. To learn more about you and your job, I am really enjoying it. I have a question. I am 22 years old, always loved to draw and paint, but I was never encouraged to do so, and I end up dropping it. Do you think it's ever too late to start learning again? 22 years old is not old. I started working when I first started working. I graduated college in about like 21, 22. I graduated and I worked a little bit on Microsoft, the Nextel, before I actually working on games. So by the time I got into video games or into the art field, I was already 24, 25, and yeah, it's not as long as your portfolio is good, but you still have a lot of things to catch up. That means you have to work twice as hard. That means you have to cut the time that you hang out with your friend. You gotta cut that time out. And like when I was making my portfolio, I basically for about a year or two, I was just like fuck, social life, just go for it, and then give it a timeline, right? Just don't do it indefinitely. Until you get a good products that can launch and that can show people what you have and they can see that. Just commit, and I'm going to be this good. I'm going to be, just tell yourself that and be commit to it. Only people who commit and only people who take it 200% are going to get it. And you have to think, it's a very competitive field. If you're not fierce enough, if you're not taking it seriously, you're just going to be, you're not going to get it. So you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice to be able to get what you want. Anything in the world is like this. If it's easy, then everybody else will be getting the same job, right? So you have to take it seriously, you have to have discipline, you have to do good work, just like what I explained before earlier. Same thing, but do it double, because you have to catch up with the time that other people might, like if you quit for like a few years, you gotta keep crunching that 3 year into 1 year and spend more time doing what you want to do. But I don't think you mind. Usually I'll come back from a regular job like 9 to 5, and then I'll just crank a portfolio from maybe 6 to midnight every single day, and that's how I get the job. And for every single day for like basically a year or two. So from like 6 to midnight, and then that's like 6 hours every day, and that's still might not be enough. So you're gonna have to be serious. But then after that, you can just tone it down a little bit, but always keeping your skill up to date, basically. So I hope that answers your question. Another one. All right. Great Kris. Right. I have seen some of your vids and it was awesome. Thank you very much. Just saying, do you make comics like manga and stuff? I don't know. I don't write really well, so but I do have story. If I were gonna do it, then I would probably have to hire a writer or something. Then that would cost money. So I don't know if you guys want to see the. I did have a comic. It doesn't do well. It's like a kung fu / comic thing, wasn't. But I have a lot of idea that was gonna come after that. But when I put it on Amazon, it doesn't do that well. Nobody supported me. Thanks, guys. And so I was like, this is not worth it my time to pursue this, because I have some other freelance stuff to work on that I actually get paid. So yeah, so that was kind of maybe I should have tried. I should have extended longer. But you know, it's a comparable. Like, okay, the stuff that you'll be working on. Okay, your personal stuff is right here. It doesn't make you any money, and the other stuff right here. Which one we go? So you go for the other stuff, which will pay your bills, right? So basically that. But if you want to see more comic, then go to my Patreon page and support me. And then eventually someday I might make a comic before I die. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope this session is somewhat educational to you guys. And if you want, you can go and take my class by clicking that icon right there. And then we'll see you in class. And I guarantee you get better. There's group class, there's one-on-one. And you can, you know, if you don't have time to take class consistently on a weekly basis, you can just download the premium tutorial and then you can just watch it whenever you want. And you will also get better on that, I guarantee you. Alright, your money back guarantee. It's said on the website for the downloadable content. Anyways, alright guys, well, thank you for watching and have a good day, night, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Ciao. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching, guys, and don't forget to follow me on Patreon. You can just follow me without having to pledge. I upload artwork there every